So when I go to on vacation, 99 times out of 100 times, I don't go to Paris or Berlin or Tokyo or Florida. I come here to our family lake home, and uh, it's very comfortable and very cozy. Um, but um, what's the problem with that? What's the problem with going to a beautiful lake home, you ask? Uh, Guess who and guess from where? You're from Cornwall, Louise. Um, anyway, so when I come here, uh, my brain immediately goes back to high school days, and I have nightmares not about Donald J. Trump, but about Richard M. Nixon. And I remember the Watergate uh, event was happening here at this cabin when that happened, whenever that was. So why am I telling you this? Um, I came here from Boston with an idea. I was going to learn how to do watercolors. Well, I haven't learned how to do watercolors. I attempted, tried a couple of things, and my brain just hasn't gotten into how to do them yet. One of the uh, tools I used were my watercolors as well as these pencils. These are Prismacolor watercolor pencils, which were some of the art supplies that were here. My father was very good at any kind of art he did, and these are his pencils, though I don't think he ever used them. They still have their points on them. He probably, maybe I bought them for him for Christmas or something. I don't know where they came from, but so I thought, well, maybe if I draw using these and then water them down, I'll get an effect that I like. And I kind of started here. You know, there's enough line that makes it, um, to my mind, not look like a watercolor. And I kind of like it for that reason. Hello, Michelle. Um, but the point of this story is I come here with ideas that I want to follow through on, and I get stuck doing other things. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I got stuck doing and some of the things that I enjoy doing. We'll make a list. Where's my list? What worked and what didn't work? First of all, this pen doesn't work. It doesn't have ink in it. So here's our list of happy things that are working and things that aren't working. How's that for a plan? So one of the plans was I've been listening to a lot of radio shows that I hadn't heard since I was in grad school, and it's a British radio show called My Word, and it was the same four brilliant panelists and a moderator who also was brilliant, and writers who were brilliant. And it's a game show, a panel show about words, meanings and derivations. And it's such a delight to hear a smart quiz show and to hear smart people speaking English correctly, except Frank Muir doesn't know how to pronounce his R's. So he's always talking about round things rather than round things, for example. So there's that. But anyway, it's such a delight. And one of the stories, one of the questions uh, that one of the rounds of the questions they asked all of the panelists was about Gulliver's Travels. And lo and behold, I have that book right here, Swift, Gulliver's Travels. And I went into it with such passion. I got page 44, and it's been sitting there open on my bed at page 44 for weeks. So maybe I'll get through it. The Voyages of Gulliver goes only halfway through the book. Well, a quarter of the way through the book, 292 pages. So it's really fun. I read it once upon a time when I was young and didn't appreciate the subtleties of it and the fact that it was a commentary on government. I just thought it was a picture, a story about this giant in this land of little people, rather than something more deep than that. So let's see. Right now, Gulliver's Travels goes in this, and Watercolors goes over here. That I haven't succeeded in that. So, but I am listening to My Word, and it's very fun, and I'm enjoying it. I continue to listen to radio plays, and every once in a while, on YouTube, I'll find some horrible made for TV movie about an airplane disaster or crash where miraculously everyone is saved except for the bad guy. So I've wasted hours watching those things, TV shows. They're not bad movies. Okay, what I need some more things over here. My huge satire. And again, when I read Gulliver's Travels when I was young, I didn't appreciate the satire part. So right now, it hasn't gotten that far into it. He's still, he's not quite into criticism or observation of the Lilliputians yet, but I know he will eventually get that way. So another thing that my brothers and I are doing is fixing stuff at the cabin. And that's fun. I mean, it's not necessarily fun, but it's something we need to do, and we can look at what we've done afterwards and say that was a good job. Whereas when I look at the pages of Gulliver's Travels that I haven't read, that's not a good job. Or if I think about the 2 hours I wasted watching a stupid movie, that's not good. Fixing stuff. I did want to, one of my thoughts when I came here, I thought I would connect up with some of the resorts in the area and create my little cardboard fish I make. And so far, neither one of the 2 places I went to have gotten back to me, and it kind of saddens me a bit. Today it's pouring out, and today would be perfect time for me to be sitting in their children's playroom area making fish with people. And they would be happy that it was something other than staying home and watching bad TV shows. What else did I want to do? There were other art supplies I brought with me from Boston that I wanted to try out. These Arteza pens. Oh, it's a paintbrush. These look like they're dried up markers, but this is how they're supposed to look. This is how you're supposed to, they're brand new. They write like this. And what you do, this is sort of like a dry brush, but you can also dip them in water, and then they turn into a watercolor kind of brush. So I thought maybe if these watercolors, these kind, were too difficult for me, doing this as well. So bad film and TV serve a purpose too. So what purpose is that? While we, other than supplying the producers and the actors money. Another thing I wanted to do, I wanted to learn how to do some animation, and I have done some using my an app I already know, but I sort of wanted to learn the Procreate Dream, I think it's called, which is very complicated to me. And I thought, well, maybe I'd learn a little tiny bit of it because I think it would be fun, but that's not going to happen. You can laugh at them, enjoy. Sometimes no, though. The plots are usually so transparent that you're not on the edge of your seat. You're just waiting until the fucking thing ends. Another thing I did, even though my brothers and I try our hardest to throw things away or downsize, we end up going to thrift shops all the time, antique shops, and I bought a large version of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which I'd never read. And it has the original John Tenniel illustrations in it. And it was $3. And what's wrong with that? So I've been reading that as well as Jonathan Swift. And what is the connection between the two, you ask? Well, they both had people that got small. Well, at some point, and big. Let's see. At one of those thrift shops, I bought this stack of paper, and I thought, well, this will be fun because I go to bars around the lake, and I write people's names, and they love it. And I've been using kind of nice paper, and I thought I can use this shitty stuff. But look how shitty it is. Michelle. No, actually, this doesn't work too bad. H-E-L-E, Michelle. Okay, but the red one didn't work. These smell funny. Also, they have this, I don't know what kind of smell it has, but it has this smell on it. Yeah, see, this is waxy. The ink doesn't go in it. It repels ink. The light ones don't. I mean, it kind of did on this side. Is there a right side up and upside down of these? Anyway, what I'll do is I'll take the light colored ones and separate them from the stack and use them to calligraph. So anyway, let's say things that make me smile are going antiquing. I bought a beautiful telescope from around 1890 at one of these things, and I still don't understand how it works. It's a single tube with a lens at one end and another lens here, and there must be some lens in here, or maybe two, because there's a way where you can slide this in and out, and it acts as a zoom. It goes from 10 power to 40 power, and I don't, for the life of me, figure out how that's possible without there being some sort of third lens in here that it's connecting with, because normally telescopes don't do that. the fall guy with flea majors. Um, let's see what else. I bought at one of these flea market things at Goodwill these things, 3-inch, 116 characters, and I thought these are orange, and we have a bathroom here at the lake that has orange decorations in it, and I thought maybe I could create something fun using these, gluing them together to make some sort of fun picture or something. I don't quite know, but I don't think that's going to happen today or this trip. So I think I'll put that back. Sign and poster design. Maybe I can just make a big sign. Remember to flush, for fuck's sake. Maybe that's what I can do with it. My brothers will appreciate that. Okay, I'm an old man. I turned 69 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks and a day ago, 2 days ago, anyway. And one's ability to pee effectively when you get to be my age is lessened. So I know this is too much information. You can plug up your ears. This story won't take more than 2 minutes. So, I get up. Sometimes I barely make it to the bathroom because my plumbing has other ideas. And I get there and I pee, and after 4 seconds, it doesn't want to continue. So I leave and I go start making my coffee, but then I have to pee again. So I go back, and what I do between times, I don't flush because I know I'm going to return in 3 minutes. And so when my brother sees that, like, Pierre, why don't you flush the toilet? Well, I'm not done yet. Let me finish, for God's sake. I just don't want to, I'm of some sort of belief that we're going to run out of water one day, and a tank, whatever water is used in flushing, whatever perfectly good water is used in flushing the toilet might come in handy. I'm done with that story. What else did I want to do today or here? Other things I enjoy doing. Now, again, you can close your ears. This story will last maybe 3 minutes. There's something about me. I'm not a naturalist normally. The idea of being naked outside, certainly it isn't sexual at all. It is sensual, being outside and naked with the sun or the rain hitting you. And it's something that I can't do in Boston easily. There are nudist places you can get to if you had a car and the desire to sit in traffic for 3 hours before you get to this place. Seems like it defeats the purpose. But here in this location, I have the freedom to go skinny dipping without anyone knowing. Except yesterday, 2 days ago, when I was doing it, suddenly 2 young men from the neighboring house, I didn't realize they were up. Older people are there right now. And their children showed up unexpectedly. They're not children, they're 20 years old or something, and they suddenly jumped in the water with their swimsuits and a football, and they were throwing it back and forth, and they saw me suddenly only my head is showing. I ducked down as far as I could, so they couldn't see. Not that I could stand up there and they couldn't see it. My nether regions were below the water line, and they asked me if I wanted to play football with them in the water. And as attractive as that might sound to a 69-year-old gay man frolicking in the water with two young strapping lads, it didn't. I sort of like being a naturalist entirely by myself. I don't think I would work in a nudist colony because there's too many people. I sort of like to be all by myself in the with nature. So I have been able to do that. So we put that in the good column. Skinny dipping, or as my nephew, who is 30 years old and lives in California, he says, "Oh, Pierre, you don't skinny dip. You do people like you," meaning old and fat. We call it chunky dunking. Chunky dunking is what I'm doing. So chunky dunking. Chunky D's. So that's fun, and it's something I do by myself, and hopefully no one sees. And if they do, they'll get over it after some sessions of therapy. But I think it's kind of fun. I used to be very shy about my 98-pound weakling body that I had when I was a kid, and I was horrible at sports and anything that involved physical activity, and then going into the locker room, and it just was traumatic for me. Being naked was traumatic, and I've learned now in my old age that that it's okay being naked. Body positiveness is an important thing to learn, and it's just too bad that it took me 60 years to learn it. Why couldn't I have learned it before? Well, and we know now, I mean, when I was growing up and even today, all advertising, all movie stars, all, yes, of course you could have crusty old fat people playing in the movies. Sidney Greenstreet is one, for example. But he played an evil character usually, so that wasn't anything to aspire to. But now I think there's a lot of diversity out there, and it's valued. But it's still, everything is still aimed at use, and many things are. Yes, you do see commercials for Depends, and even the people there are youthful. God. And erectile dysfunction. They're not a 78-year-old man. They're a 50-year-old man with just a little bit of gray hair. Kids can be mean. Yes, kids can be mean. So part of this video right here is going to tell you about a video I'm going to be doing at noon today. My friend Rob Morrison, who used to live down the street from me in Somerville, is a pen collector and is like me. He can look at this pen and point out all the things that any pen collector knows. It's a Wahl Eversharp, gold fill, whatever pattern this is called. If Todd Merrill were here, he'd say, "Oh, that's the blah, blah, blah." I call it the Greek meander pattern, but I know that's not correct. And it has the early hump thing and the bands here. You know, Rob and I know all of those factoids to a degree, but we also, Rob and I, because we use the pens so much, we talk about so many other aspects of the pen, and then we also can be very goofy and playful about a pen as well. And I saw him yesterday on saw that he was on Facebook, active on Facebook. So we chatted for about an hour last night and just laughed and laughed and laughed. And this is what we used to do almost every week, if not twice a week. We would get together, play with pens. We'd buy and sell pens from to each other, and we would just laugh and laugh and laugh, and usually drink a domestic malt beverage or 8. So last night we were drinking and chatting and drinking and chatting, and I said, you know, I want to do a live thing with you here. So we're planning that for noon today. Is anyone in the room anymore? Oh, hey, Kesh, you're in the room. Did I miss your birthday? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Did I miss it? God damn it. Kesh's birthday was a few days ago, 5 days ago, the 11th. Yeah, I knew it was the 11th. I didn't remember it on the 11th because I probably didn't know that it was the 11th. So happy birthday, Kesh. Kesh and I met on Periscope when that was a thing. And I was playing the ukulele, and he saw on the worldwide map, I guess, somehow, that some guy in Minnesota was playing the ukulele. I don't know how he picked me, but I liked that app. I like that you could zoom in on a map of the world, and you could see how many people in Paris were live, and you'd click on one of them, and suddenly there would be this beret-wearing Frenchman playing the accordion, or whatever French people do. So anyway, that's where Kesh and I met, and we've been friends ever since. I'll say happy birthday to your father for me. I'm talking about the things, the good and bad things that I still have yet to do here at the lake. And I've run out of things to show and tell here, but essentially I know that a vacation is supposed to be a place where you sit back, sleep late, and do all that kind of stuff. I shouldn't be beating myself up for not doing enough. Is that a new game? Would you like to join me live, Kesh, for a few minutes? Anyway, Rob and I might end up talking just our faces side by side. He's at his home in Kansas rather than his real house in North Carolina, and he also travels a lot to France, so he doesn't have a lot of pens with him, and he doesn't have a setup to aim down at a table, so you just might be seeing us talking, which might not be very interesting. I don't know. We'll probably be doing a lot of laughing and going down memory lane and talking about pens we like without actually showing you what the pens are, but that's okay. What are those good and bad things doing? Well, these are what I'm doing on vacation and what I think is a positive thing that I do and what is a negative thing. One of the negative things is not finishing a book that I started right there, Gulliver's Travels. Watching bad TV shows on YouTube, that's bad. The TV shows were, they were made for, some are actual movies and they're kind of interesting, but there's a lot of crap on YouTube, old movies that were not very good. And I like watching, I know you like watching the serial killer movies. I like watching airplane crash movies. Because I know everyone's going to be fine. Except for maybe the bad guy and maybe one or two stewardesses or something that might be killed. But it's a waste of 2 hours of my life when I could be reading Gulliver's Travels. On the good side, there's a radio show and other things that I listen to on YouTube that are really, really good and really, really fun. And one of them is called My Word. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen is good. I never watched that Cop Story or whatever he was in, but when I see snippets of it, they're quite funny. And another thing that's good is my brothers and I are fixing stuff at the cabin that need to be fixed. A new water heater, new siding, putting a patio section down. Those are good. Antiquing is good, where all three of us enjoy finding cool things that we don't need, but we feel we need to buy. And chunky dunking, which is me taking off all my clothes and jumping in the lake. Yeah, he may have been in an airplane movie. It wasn't Airplane, unless Airplane 2. I mean, he was in the Poseidon Adventure. He was the captain of the Poseidon. There was a game show called Celebrity Sweepstakes, and it had 2 contestants and a moderator on one side, and the other side were maybe 6 celebrities. And a question, and they looked like they were at a starting gate of a horse derby. So they're all sitting in this row, and there's fake bushes and things that look like you're outside. Stupid show. Anyway, what was kind of cool about the show, though, was the audience. They would ask a question, and one of the questions was, the song The Morning After won the Oscar for the best song in last week's or whatever it was, Academy Awards. What movie was it from? So that question is asked of the celebrities and of the contestants and of the audience. And the audience had this little remote control thing, and they would guess who would know the answer. Was it going to be, Buddy Hackett, or was it going to be Gene Stapleton, or was it going to be, all of these generally has-been TV stars? Or was it going to be Leslie Nielsen, who was over here? And everyone thought someone else was going to know the answer. So Leslie Nielsen had the best odds. His payout was going to be, if you asked him and he got the answer correct, you'd make all sorts of money. And I thought, oh my God, well, he was in the fucking movie. He was the captain of the movie's called The Poseidon Adventure. He was the captain of the Poseidon. Certainly everyone in the audience knows that. But evidently he was so bad. Anyway, no one guessed him, so his odds were great. And they guessed someone else, and they might have known the answer or not. I don't remember, but I remember Leslie Nielsen telling his neighbor, God, I was in that movie. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that? Really loved your porch and the deck the other day. Would love to visit there someday and have a cup of coffee with you there. I would love to have you here. The stipulation is, Kesh, we have to go skinny dipping together. You can be on one side of the dock. You can skinny dip, and I'll chunky dunk at the other side. There's something really, really just so refreshingly amazing about being naked outside. I don't know if you can do that in Mumbai very well. Well, I'd love to have you visit here. Gosh, you could spend a week if you want. You'd probably go crazy. There's not a lot to do for a young, talented man like you, but I think we'd have fun. We could sing, and you could teach me one of your songs, and we could do that. We could go sailing. You could go fishing. Kesh, you can look at me and you can laugh all you want. I don't care. I'm made of stronger stuff, and I don't think it would scare you. There's nothing wrong with being naked. I'm sure you know that, and there's nothing wrong with a fat old man being naked, or a fat old lady, or a young lady, or it's all just perfectly fine. But you can still laugh and giggle. That's certainly acceptable in my book. I'm going to stand up and take the camera with me, just so you can see what the weather is today. And so I can plug this in. Here's my contraption that I use to hold this up. Well, this is a house. It's not as cabiny as you might think it should be. But this house, as big as it is small by comparison to some of the ones that are being made today on this lake. This lake is kind of like right over there. There's right in the middle of the picture, you see a bulldozer working on a brand new house that's probably twice as big as this one. This one has 6 bedrooms in it, though that's not exactly fair. I'm going to move the camera here just a second. There's the camera. Oh, that's settings. How do I get the camera? Camera. Front camera. Yes, this cabin has, plug this in again here. This cabin has 6 bedrooms, though originally it really only had 4, and there was a large room where we had the TV. It was also a guest room. It had a couch that could turn into a bed. That is now my brother's official bedroom, and we had another room that was where all of us kids would play games and build model boats and build model airplanes and stuff. That is now my room, and it's actually, my room is the nicest one in the house. It's except it's full of shit, so I'm not going to show it to you. But my little brother and his wife have the master bedroom, and and Kesh has a funny story to talk about masturbate room. Um, he was on a date, and he was giving a tour of his apartment, and rather than saying, "And this is the master bedroom, this is the masturbate room," I think is how he, which might have been completely correct. The bedrooms that my brothers and I had when we were growing up are quite small. They fit a twin bed and a chair and a desk, essentially. But now they have double beds in them, and there's barely room to walk around. But those are the rooms that we have for guests now. And also my niece has one that she uses, and my nephew has one that he uses with their spouses. So I remember, Kesh, I do remember lots of things you say. I just forget your birthday. I don't forget your birthday. I forget to tell you happy birthday on your birthday because I don't know what day it is here. Should I give you a tour of which room? You can decide which one it's going to be. There are 3 guest rooms. You can always stay with me. I'll be good. The bed in my room is it's like extra king size. If you were on your side and I was on my side, there could still be 2 other people in there between us. Oops. Change the camera again. Back camera. There's my mom. Oop. Shit. There's my mom. That picture used to be hanging on the stairwell at a house we sold. Okay, this is the Talons room. And this is where I joke that this is where we put people that we don't want to have stay very long, because it does look kind of pointy, and like, this is where we'll kill you and cut you up. And there's little bugs and antlers. Okay, so that's this one. This used to be Todd's room. Then we have, I call this the sex room, and not spelled S-E-X, but S-E-C-T-S, insects. That's a painting my dad did of bugs, of butterflies, or moths rather. And it's right now, I want to hang a bunch of other pictures include, and I want to put these in the windows, but I don't know if anyone wants these to be there. But these are actual bugs that are framed, and I thought they'd look nice, in the window. But I have a feeling no one would want to stay in here. The last two that I showed you are guest rooms. This used to be my room, and this I call the bridge, or it's the one that has the nautical pictures that I painted when I was a kid or drew. There's a painting I did of two drowned naked men. I did that painting of World War I battleships. So this is where my nephew and his wife stay. The master bedroom is here. It has a balcony that is falling apart. It has a bathroom of its own. It has two big closets, a TV. It's pretty big. And the room I'm staying in is just as big as that one. We have a laundry room, and then this used to be the sort of guest room that we did have for my grandmother mainly, and it's quite big. You can't see it because it's dark. And my room is in here. Yes, I know. So has nice windows and a door that goes outside, and this big bed. So Kesh, you could be over there, and I could be here. And as you can see, I mean, that end of the bed, your side of the bed is full of shit there, Kesh. So there's lots of room. Bathroom here. And now I'll go sit back down and read what people said. Let me plug this in again. And let me turn the camera around. So what do you mean no spare room? If my entire family were up here, everyone that it would be my brother and I and my other brother and his wife, and they take up 3 bedrooms. And then there's 3 little rooms that are taken up by my nephew and his wife and my niece and her boyfriend. So there's one room that's open for someone that isn't related to us, but we're rarely all here at the same time. And so there's room for more than one set of guests usually. We're having house guests this weekend. My brother is bringing friends from parents or a parent and her 2 sons, I think, are coming up. Students that are in the school where my brother works. So we're gonna play games and go fishing and shit like that. I'm here all by myself, and it is rainy outside. But I think it would be fun to have you here, Kesh. The bar that I go to across the lake has an outdoor band stand at it, and it would be great to have you sing. I bet there's a lot of people in this at that restaurant at that resort who probably wouldn't know how to find India on a globe. We're um, we're pretty. Some of us are pretty stupid out here in um, rural Minnesota. Um, you might change your mind about winter. Kesh, do you have snow where you live? And ice and slush? You may change your mind about how uh, much you like winter. I mean, just go north a little bit and see what it's like in the Himalayas. I suppose it snows there, doesn't it? It's not just frozen rain in those mountains. Does it actually, do they have snowstorms up there? I think they do. No, there's lots of stuff people do here. There are people that go out ice fishing. They take a little tiny house that's about twice the size of a phone booth and they put it on a lake and they fish. They cut a hole in the ice and they sit there and fish, which is supposed to be fun. I can't imagine that it would be fun, but there's ice skating. I don't really know that many people that do that. Skiing is popular here. My brothers ski. My niece and nephew ski, and they're on teams that ski. And Minnesota is relatively flat, but there are ski hills, and one of them that's about 30 minutes, 20 minutes from where I used to have our city house. It trained more US Olympic skiers than any other hill, any other ski resort thing, because the hill was relatively steep, the right steepness for hills to be for skiing, but it was not too long, so you could do lots and lots and lots of practice runs on it. So you'd ski and go up to the top of the hill. 5 minutes later, you'd ski again, go up to the top. So you were able to get a lot of work in. What's in a name? And I'm trying to remember what your name is. I remember that you're a Trump supporter. Am I remembering that correctly? What's in a name? Do you want to see the Epstein Tate report? His list? I like rain. I like being up here when it's raining. I like the color of what I see out the window. It's beautiful grays and greens, and I love it. Being here when it's sunny, it's nice, but I like the tonalities of this weather the best. So, who wants to be live with me for a few minutes. Kesh, do you want to be live? Michelle, do you want to be live with me? Is that a yes? You want to be live with me? You said yep. My hair isn't well. Look at mine. I haven't, even though I went chunky dunking yesterday, I didn't get my hair wet, and I haven't washed it, and it has not seen a comb or a brush in probably a decade, because there's not enough of it to comb or to brush. So my hair is a mess. Yours is long. Do you have a hat? Can you put a scarf on, a hat or something? Look, I'll tell you what. There. That fixes it. This is a blue fez, and I painted white fish on it. And that's another thing I could do. I suppose I have more of these fezzes. I could paint them. That would be a fun project to do. When I'm here, I like wearing funny hats when I go to these bars because, first of all, it's fun to do. And also, it's anything I can do to ruffle the feathers of Republicans, I'll do. I want them to know that not everyone up here thinks the same way that they think. For the 4th of July, I hung about 5 American flags, but I didn't want people to think that I voted for Donald Trump. So I also included a United Nations flag, a rainbow flag, gay pride flag, I think there was a British flag, a Brazilian flag. There were flags of many other countries. I drink, we have a coffee maker that makes little pods of coffee, 1 cup at a time. And it's, of course, expensive, and it's a great waste rather than just buying coffee in a big can, even though that's kind of a waste. I should buy it in a bag and grind it myself, which my sister-in-law does. And my nephew, he is a coffee nut, and he measures to the milligram the amount of coffee that he's going to put in the pot, and he measures the water temperature to the 10th of a degree before he turns the thing on. And so he makes these magnificent cups of coffee. I should probably have him make one for me. And Taster's Choice. I'm sure I tried Taster's Choice. That was instant coffee, right? I think you would get along with Sam. Gets along with anyone. He works as a counselor, sort of, at a camp, or he has done in the past, and he helps people that are children that are very disabled or otherwise abled, I guess. In this case, severely, we used to say retarded. We can't say that. I don't know what the polite term is for that, but they're, they throw shit at him during the day, actual human poop that they make themselves, and then they throw it at Sam. And Sam just, yeah, whatever. He just, nothing bothers him. Yeah, being a coffee nut is, I mean, it's fun. He also loves pot. He's always doing something with that, which is fun. Chocolate and cream. I've been drinking it. Normally, I throw sugar and milk in my coffee in Boston. And I could certainly, I don't know where the sugar is in the house. I know we did have brown sugar, but I don't know where the sugar is. And we do have milk that we can put in it. Troy, my little brother, does that. But I've been drinking it black. It's fine. It's just something to throw down your gullet. Well, Coffee Mate, yeah, I know Coffee Mate. I mean, I know of it. It wasn't it non-dairy creamer? It's like white powdered, just add coffee. It looks like cream and it probably tastes like cream, but there's no cow was harmed in its making. Fuck. You know, I'm fuck. God damn it. I'm gonna guess. Here's what my obituary will read, and it might happen tomorrow. It might happen a year from now or 2 years from now. Per Gustafson was found dead in his home yesterday. It appears that he was strangled to death by his power cords. They're everywhere. I stand up to get another cup of coffee, and 3 iPads fall off the couch onto the floor, and I trip and fall. I have right now, I brought four iPads with me and 2 iPhones with me. And the reason I have this quantity is I sometimes will be doing drawings on one while listening or watching a movie on another. And also the battery isn't that great in any of them. So if I take one out boating, for example, to do drawings, I usually bring 2 just because a battery might die and I still want to do some more drawings. So it's a little crazy. So Kesh, why don't you want to show up on here live with me? Before you come to America, though, you have to make sure that there's nothing on your social media that is critical of Donald J. Trump, because they won't let you in. They'll demand to see your phone, and if you don't unlock it for them and show what you've got on it, they can throw you in jail or put you back on the airplane going back home. So I'm kind of afraid of leaving the country because I might not be let back in. When can he just go away? I mean, he's a walking death trap. you'd think that he would have 3 heart attacks every day. Just his, I'm certainly no Adonis, and I get out of breath when I stand up, but it's just crazy that he's still alive. I just think that, my little brother, who is very energetic, very athletic, eats well, doesn't drink a lot. He had a heart attack 2 months ago. He's fine, but and in his case, the clogged aorta, 80% clogged, was a side effect of diabetes. He's had diabetes since he was 8, and he's 60 years old now. So it's a long time to have diabetes without complications, like having your foot amputated and things like that, that other people that have diabetes have to suffer because of circulation issues mainly. So now he's on blood thinners. So when he cuts himself, which he did the other day, it took days for it to heal because the blood, he needs to have blood thinner medication. So Michelle, if I haven't asked you this before, I'll ask you now. What pens do you come here to talk about pens? And what pens do you have, and what pens do you like? Michelle, are you still on the program here? You like sparkle ones, sparkly pens? Earl Grey. That's a T, isn't it? Is there a pen company called Earl Grey? Just one sparkles. I need to get some food in me, breakfast in me. So, and I have to clean up the house a little bit because my brother and his wife, my brother and sister-in-law are coming up today. And if they saw the house the way it is, they would be very upset. How do you join in the thing here? I'll invite you. Copy. Okay, Cashew, click on that. And then I'll invite you in. You have to remember to turn off YouTube when you're done, because you'll be interfacing with me through Safari or whatever internet provider you use. And if you don't want to come, just say so, so I can. I don't quite understand why. Oh. Show comments on stage. That's why. There, that went away. Oh, you're here. Add to stage. Well, Kesh.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, long
I
time.
can't see you. I can't see your pretty face though.
Well, my computer's camera is not working, but you can see my face in the picture that's there.
I know, but it's this big.
Yeah, I can send you a bigger, high quality version of that picture to you. Are you on mute? I can't hear you.